That's Twisted.
This is Mark McNeese in New York City with my co-host,
Rick Rose in Shreveport, Louisiana.
And you're listening to The Twist. Welcome to The Twist Podcast, everybody. America's only clothing optional podcast. This is Mark McNeese on a beautiful New York City day. Every day is different, Rick, here. It's like rainy and awful, and then it's beautiful and sunny, and it's a sunny day today, so I'm happy. What's going on in Shreveport?
Well, same thing. Shreveport's fine, except they got to let you out. It's beautiful, sunny. We've had great weather for the last month. Glorious, almost like fall-like weather. However, we had huge torrential, and I'm saying torrential rains on Sunday, and a tornado warning came through at 1:30, and I was on an art tour at my house. I was one of 6 stops in the house. We still had 20 people come through. We were expecting about 100. But those 20 people were loyal and faithful and took cover in my house looking at art. Well, the rain kept coming, and the buzzers were going off. And I just want to note, too, here I'm on the cell phone this morning, Mark, because something is wrong with my Wi-Fi. I don't know. In my house, everything got knocked off. I can't even get onto my Dunkin' Donuts account right now.
That's really serious. But you don't drink coffee anymore, so.
No, I don't, but I like to see what the rewards are. And Lent's almost here, over with. Easter's almost here. And then I can go back to coffee, but I probably won't.
I was going to ask you if you were going to go back to it. I saw the doctor yesterday. I got to get rid of the bread and sugar because my triglycerides and my cholesterol. So I'm getting rid of the bread and sugar starting yesterday. But the coffee, that'll be like the last thing standing for me because I'm a writer and it's like I have it in my head that I have to have this, second cup of coffee just to even sit at my computer. And by the way, it sounded like you said an ARC tour, and I thought, how perfect for torrential rains. You're having an ARC tour.
That's so funny. I said art, A-R-T, but it could have been an ARC.
Well, and that's going to be my big topic today is the arts. But I also want to update people because last week I talked about failing all these online personality tests for jobs.
Oh yes.
And it was mostly in my head. I did fail the online job tryout for CVS, but the universe works in our favor sometimes. And what happened was, on Saturday I applied at ShopRite in Flemington, New Jersey. And because I thought I'm failing all these tests, nobody's ever going to call me, but I'll do it anyways. And then that afternoon, the giant grocery store where I really want to work called me. They called me and called me in for an interview this Friday. That's where I've been wanting to work for a long time, and I hadn't heard from them for a month. And the guy, David, who is really nice and family, and I won't say more than that, but he said he had emailed me a week ago, but I didn't see it because, this stuff gets snagged in the spam folders and stuff. But anyway, so I have an interview on Friday at the Giant, which I really want that job. And then ShopRite called me Monday. I was like, I applied on Saturday and ShopRite called me Monday. So I have an interview tomorrow at the ShopRite.
Yes, fabulous. That's awesome.
I'm very happy about it because I am, I think at least for me, I can only talk for myself as an aging person. As I get older, my ego, it needs to be fed less. I'm creative by impulse. I cannot stop being creative. That's why I'm doing LGBTSR again, but it's a .com finally. But anyways, so I got to create. I'm not going to stop being creative, I don't think, ever, but I don't need the kind of validation that I used to, especially from a job. I don't need to be an executive assistant. I don't need to have people all over the world know who I am like they did at Reuters and all this other ego shit. I don't need that. I will be happy working in a grocery store on my feet, interacting with people, bringing in enough to support myself and with my life with my husband out there in the country. And I'm going to be a happy, happy, happy person. I already am, but I'm just putting that out there. Like, at least the older I get, the less I need things to tell me that I'm valuable.
I agree. Our priorities change as we get older, and so much of what we've done, we've accomplished so much by the time we're our age, and there's not much more to do other than have a simple life. I was thinking that this morning because I told Mark, folks, we usually start recording at 7. I said, Mark, I'm going to get up at 7. We're going to record at 7:15 because for me, Mark, it's like I remember when my grandparents got older. It's when at that age, when I was thinking that, they were probably my age now, so they really weren't that old. They were 52, 53. And I remember them always getting up early. And I know you're of the older person world that does get up early. I just can't do it. The older I get, the more I want to sleep in. So
if I sleep in till 6, it's like, oh, wow, what a treat. I was
I
up
know
at
often
5:30
you
today. To me, 5:30 is like a good time to get up. It's not too late. It's not too early. But that's me. I'm up early. I've always been up early.
often you and I are the two that are like, you're texting me when you're waking up, and I'm texting you as I'm falling to sleep. It's funny. It really does happen for us, doesn't it?
It does. Now we got some headlines and we got two topics, and then I don't know if you got an end quote. If you
I
don't,
do.
oh, okay, perfect. So tell me when you're ready, and we're going to just dive into it.
Yeah, happy birthday too, by the way, to my friend Jody. It's her
Happy
big
birthday,
today, Rachel.
Jody.
Hey, Jody. All right, we're ready. Let's dive in. I got some red lines for us as well.
Okay, the headlines for the week. Workplace discrimination. This just came out like yesterday. Workplace discrimination against gays is prohibited by federal law. A federal appeals court ruled on Tuesday that workers may not be fired for their sexual orientation, becoming the highest court in the country to find that the 1964 Civil Rights Act protects gays, which of gays and lesbians certainly, from workplace discrimination and setting up a possible Supreme Court battle. But what a treat, you know, amid all the bad news that we see every day. I was very happy.
Well, I thought he snuck that in as one of his orders. Didn't he try to?
No, the Family Research Council, they're pressuring Trump to sign an executive order about religious liberty. But anyways, that's a separate issue. I was just happy to see this.
Yeah, me too. On the other side of things, but also positive. This one is from a section of Huffington Post or something called Queer Voices. Internet comes for bigot who claims gays stole the rainbow from God. The bizarre statement made by this guy named Brian Fisher, and he got dragged down big time.
Oh, I know who he is. Brian Fisher. He's horrible. He has a radio show. He's horrible.
He's a conservative radio host, and he decided to seize the moment to make a homophobic barb after Gilbert Baker, the man who created the rainbow flag that represents the LGBT community, died this week. As you know, he died at 65, very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And the LGBTQ community just jumped on him. They said, let this man on Friday pass away peacefully, which he did, and let's honor what he brought us. We did not steal frickin' rainbow. The leprechauns did.
Right, and not only that, but Brian Fisher is known for this inflammatory crap for years and years and years. So I basically say, fuck him. Who cares? You know what I mean? But yeah, he's horrible. They're horrible. They're horrible people. Now, my next one is about an elder goth. Do you know what an elder goth is?
No.
Now, you've had experience, as do I, with the aging population, the aging community.
Yes.
So elder goths are goths who get old. Now, you remember even just 20, 30 years ago, goth was a thing with the black, with the black fingernails and the black lipstick. But anyways, they get old. And so there's a woman who lives in Seattle, and she's like me with the over 50 queers. She's with goth people. She's like,
oh, cool.
Older women she's mostly talking about women, but older women have a place in the goth community, and she's doing what she can to make that a comfortable space for them. So I'm all in favor of that.
I love that.
Yeah, cool.
I work with another goth, just saying. Here's to you, Maggie.
Hi, Mags.
Here's one. World War II veteran comes out as a transgender I'm sorry, I added the word A there. Let me try this again. World War II veteran comes out as transgender at the age of 90. Did you see this story, Mark?
I did see that. That was fascinating.
Patricia Davies is her name. It feels like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders. She lives over in a little area in England. She said she spent 87 years of her life known as Peter to the outside world. But she's out now. That's who she is, as Patricia Davies. Here's to you, Patricia.
Now, diversity. Turmoil over diversity strikes the Unitarian Universalist Association. Now, you know, and I know that the Unitarians are like really welcoming and really, they've been gay friendly forever. But apparently their board on the southern region, the board member was replaced by another white man. So in other words, a white man retired from the leadership of their southern region, and he was replaced by another white man. So there's been an outcry with many members, including Christina Rivera, a Latina, who said she had been a finalist for the position. Basically, they're saying, they need to diversify the leadership, that it's a white leadership in the church. But I'm not going to knock them too heavy, because Like I said, they've been our friends and allies for a long, long time.
Hmm. That's interesting. We have a big Universalist whatever church here. I've gone many times.
Yeah, it's a lot to say, isn't it?
It is. I can't.
It's a
say
bunch
it.
of U's and vowels and stuff. The unis. Let's call them the unis.
The unis. Here's one. I like this one. This is true. Leave it to the Chinese. Park in China uses facial recognition to prevent toilet paper theft.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'd think
Be
it would be
careful how
like
you-
booty recognition.
Yeah, that's funny. I first thought of that. That is funny, Mark. I'm laughing genuinely because that was funny. But no, I mean, think about it. If you're sitting on the crapper, so to speak, I hate that word. I hate words that use anything other. I like the word shit, but I like it not
The
referring
crapper
to.
comes from somebody named Crap. I mean, it
I
actually
know.
it has a history.
His real name was Crapper. It's
Yeah,
ironic, right?
yeah.
But anyway, just you know how you make your face probably different when you're trying to pass.
Oh
and
yeah,
do
so it's
whatever.
getting all the scrunchy faces.
Right. So that's what I mean. This is pretty amazing because it's trying to get facial recognition, and I doubt people make the same scrunchy face every time. But these machines are installed in bathrooms at the Temple of Heaven Park in Beijing. They scan the visitor's face for 3 seconds, and then it will ration out 24 to 27.5 inches of toilet paper precisely.
Wow.
So, because they upgraded from 1 ply to 2 ply, because people are complaining they have a weird ration. It's pretty cool. Now, my concern was, oh my God, what if you do have one of those moments and you have IBS or something, you have to go more than twice? But it does. It reallots it every 9 minutes. So, interesting.
You know, we need these things. Now,
I know.
my next
Things you don't
thing-
think of.
Yeah, my next thing is makes me happy for the time being because I have family in Mississippi. But a federal judge blocked all of Mississippi's anti-LGBT law from taking effect. Now, I don't know if you know the history behind this, but it was Indiana tried to pass, they were going to pass the religious liberty law, speaking of what we were talking about earlier. And so you got a couple states that were trying to do this, but Mississippi's got put on hold while it was being challenged in court, and the federal judge blocked all of it, not just parts of it. Let me see if I can find his little quote here. I'm sorry. That drubbing came in the form of an astonishing 60-page opinion by U.S. District Judge Carlton Reeves, blocking every single part of Mississippi's sweeping anti-LGBT, it says vicious, but I don't like to put that in there, segregation law from taking effect. The law, HB 1523, granted special protections to 3 religious beliefs. Those opposing same-sex marriage, those opposing sex outside of marriage, so it wouldn't just target queer people, and those who dislike trans and gender non-conforming people. Anyways, he's struck the law down in its entirety. We'll see if they appeal, because Frank and I will not go to a state that passes these laws. We just are not going to do that. Because I have no interest in contributing to an economy where I could be denied service in a restaurant because my waiter is an evangelical and we're homosexuals. Or the big fear for me has always been going to the emergency room with Frank and being told I can't go in the room even though I'm married, so we're not going there. So for now,
I remember we had these discussions years ago. We shouldn't have them again.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible to even be talking about this crap anymore. But anyways, that's it.
Be able to go where you want. Here's get this one, Gouda one. Taking it back to London and back to England, folks. Did you see this thing that was created by a group of a creative agency teamed up with a group of artists and designers to create Queen Beyonce's likeness in cheese? They titled it Beyonce.
Oh wow! I don't like brie, but go ahead.
Yeah, they're going to reserve it till the end of time. They think. There's also discussion about eating it now that it's created. Beyonce sculpted in cheese.
Do you like brie?
I love brie. I like hard cheeses and soft cheeses. I don't like things in between. I'm not a big cheddar fan. I'm not a big Swiss fan. I like it to be gooey and runny like brie.
Well, I'm pretty pedestrian that way. I like cheddar and I like Swiss. I don't like brie. I just have never liked the taste of it. But I got 3 more.
Yeah, keep shooting. These are good.
Okay, and like my last one is going to be a happy one, really happy. So the Alabama, another one of those fabulous states. I will. Fortunately, I have no reason to go to Alabama ever. But anyways, there's a Republican legislator there. It hasn't passed, but he put forward a bill that mandates porn blockers for all web devices and criminal charges to people who sell them unblocked. public hearing is scheduled for today on a bill that would require sellers of computers, cell phones, and other devices that provide internet access to have a filter to block pornography. Because, that's a big health crisis in this country. But anyways, there you go. They're just, I don't know. They're like, really, they're into small government, except when it comes to your reproductive rights and your sex lives.
And in the meantime, you got the leader of the Republican Party, Trump, like letting down all the protections we had on the internet, the stuff we need to protect ourselves from, from people stealing our names and blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Here's a cute one. Cat missing from Denver for 9 months is found in Dallas. They showed a picture of the cat. I'm not a big cat fan, but you would like
I love
this picture.
cats. I love cats. Be careful. I love cats.
I know. I say it openly. Last night I had dogs on my porch. I'm like, I don't want to touch your dogs. I don't like dogs.
Oh, well, I'm not a big dog person because they stink.
Cats stink.
No, cat litter stinks. Cats don't stink.
Good point. Well, this cat is cute. It's one of those tabbies,
Yeah.
Really cute cat. Anyway, I'm trying to find a name since you are, I don't think of names because I don't like them. But Harvey is the name. Construction workers found Harvey stuck in a 25-foot hole at a site in Highland Park, which is a really beautiful neighborhood in Dallas. And they found a little code in it, a little chip or whatever, and found out the cat was literally from Denver, 794 miles to be exact.
Wow.
Covered over 9 months. Yep. It took them 6 hours to free the cat, and then totally caked him up. They cleaned him up and returned him. I think the people from Denver flew down to pick him up in Dallas.
That's really uplifting. That's an amazing story.
I bet you'd like it.
Uber. I don't know if you use Uber. Frank uses it, but
I know you're talking about this chick that Twittered that whole thing, right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I've had issues with Uber for various reasons because I live in New York City. They get into cities by saying they're not taxis, right? So they're not regulated by taxis. But that means they are prohibited from behaving like taxis. But I have had, first of all, they're everywhere. They're in the bus lanes. They're like roaches here in the city. But now they try to pick people up. Like this Uber driver a couple years ago, I was looking for a cab with my arm out, and this Uber guy pulls up and rolls down his window like, you want to ride?
Oh, they're not supposed to.
No, and I said to him, what you're doing is illegal. And he started screaming at me with an accent. So I have issues with Uber, but I don't want them put out of business. I just think they're part of the destruction of Western civilization. But they're catching all kinds of shit now lately. I don't know if you've noticed, but they also have this, in its determination to treat drivers more humanely, Uber is engaged in an extraordinary behind-the-scenes experiment in behavioral science to manipulate the drivers in the service of its corporate growth. And I'm sorry, I got to go to my second page. I hate to keep people waiting. Oh, here it is. Uber solves this fundamental problem by using psychological inducements and other techniques unearthed by social science to influence when, where, and how long the drivers work. It's a quest for a perfectly efficient system, a balance between rider demand and driver supply at the lowest cost. So anyways, they're fucking with their drivers' heads, which doesn't surprise me.
That's kind of weird.
It's weird. Uber's weird. Walk. If you can walk, walk.
Well, I'm going to not ring the bell because I'm going to tie in with this. This is the story I thought you were going to tell me. Happened almost half a week ago, something like that. The headline reads, Uber driver catches her boyfriend cheating after driving his side piece to his apartment. That's the story I thought you would share. Do you know about that story?
What's a side piece? Is that like a chick? Is that a woman?
Yes. So apparently,
or a man. Could be a man, but
this Uber driver who's female. There's not a lot of female Uber drivers out there. This one's got some chutzpah, and she was driving, and her boyfriend said, "Oh, I'm leaving to the airport this morning to go visit my family or a sick mom or something like that." I forget the details. So she said, "Okay, honey, have a great trip." And then she picks up at the airport. She goes to the airport for a fare, and she picks up this gal who gives the address of her boyfriend's house.
Oh, that's so funny. That is so funny.
So if you like it, you got to go to Twitter. I forgot this woman's account name. I can look it up for you. But apparently, she tweeted the whole experience as it was going on. And then she busted the balls with her boyfriend. It is kind of funny.
Well, and what are the odds of that? Just think of the odds of that.
I know. I just thought, that's a writer's dream. It's a good soap opera.
It is. It's like the kind of thing that you say, oh, come on, I don't buy that. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to end with something happy. It's Love on Ice. Because I don't always think of hockey is a gay thing, Of course, sports in general, I guess it shouldn't. But anyways, Eric Pender and Dwayne Smoot, now there's a name that I like, said "I do" while wearing hockey jerseys in an ice rink as a man dressed as a referee officiated over their wedding. It was, they tied the knot this past November at the Orlando Amway Center, home of the ECHL Solar Bears. I just thought that was really, really sweet,
Yeah, I saw their picture. It was beautiful. It was cute.
That's all I got for the headlines.
Oh, I got two more. I'm going to tie them together real quick because I have a favorite beer that comes out of Michigan. It's called Oberon beer. And apparently, you know how they have those big inflatable blow-up beer bottles? Peanuts or whatever you're selling, whatever. 12 feet tall, valued at more than $2,000. In Kalamazoo, a photo of a man actually tried to steal this bottle. And I guess he made off with it. Now they're trying to get the bottle back.
Okay.
And then the last one, I like my little YouTube videos. And you could go find this Guinness Book of World Records post. These little YouTube channel. This is one of a woman licking the woman licks world record for stopping fan blades with her tongue. So she has a big fan base. That's pretty funny. But yeah, she was no sideshow performer named Zoe Ellis. She goes by Zoe L'Amour. She appeared on World Records on their Italian version. They have a TV show over in Italy, and she was able to stop fan blades with her tongue 20 times within 6 weeks.
Fan blades?
Fan blade. Yeah,
wow.
Like fan above your
head. That's worse than the old lady who licks eyeballs.
Well, I know. The eyeball licker. Remember, that impacted upon you, didn't it? But anyway, she stopped it 20 times, but then only to beat her own record by stopping them 32 times after you videotaped doing it. And then after filming that video, I guess she then videotaped again, did it 32 times, and then someone broke her record. 35 blade stops in a minute.
Wow.
God, nastiness.
I hope that they were clean, because sometimes a lot of fan blades are filthy.
They're filthy.
Maybe that's how they clean them.
Maybe like the eyeball licker. You're right. Maybe she could get a job cleaning those. I have a new cleaning gal, and she's fabulous. She cleans the top of my fan blades, and I don't even have to tell her.
I'm jealous. Don't tell me, because we had a housekeeper until of course we're unemployed now or whatever.
Right.
But
right.
And we're going to be moving to the house. But as long as I had a job, we had a housekeeper because we've got the two properties. It's really difficult to keep two homes clean. It's not easy. So I'll be glad when we have one home. But anyways, we had Stella. She did I loved coming home to a clean house. I mean,
I know.
She came twice a week. I mean, she came twice a month, which was fine for us. But I loved coming home those Tuesdays, and it was like, oh my gosh, the apartment's clean.
Oh, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, I really, because yesterday I did come home and I had a beautiful clean house. I'm sorry. I absolutely love that.
Well, I cleaned ours yesterday. I cleaned our apartment. So bravo.
God,
kudos.
Good for you. I just won't do it. I just can't do it. Not gonna do it.
Now, are we ready for the big topics? I got a topic. You got a topic. That's the deal. I think a topic, a piece, and a quote is good. Plus our headlines.
I think
our headlines are turning into a thing, which is really fun.
They're fun. I like them.
Who wants to go? We should have decided this in the green room on the way to
oh my
in
God,
the limo.
We don't have an intern yet. You still haven't made any progress on hiring a new intern.
Well, we've got a budget. There may not be another one, and then there's this whole thing going on with credits, college credits.
Oh my God, Mark, we really got to take this off mic because you told me last time we were whatever. You sound so corporate America now. I don't know what's happened to you. But go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to work at a grocery store. That's what happened. Boomer Bagger Dreams. That's part of the headline for the show this week.
I love it.
I'll go first. Art of the matter. Because, I like having these. I always pick 3 things in the headline. Like 3 things from what we talk about. And I try to make them catchy. It's like my version of clickbait, but not lascivious, not like stupid, offensive shit. But anyways, art of the matter. So I want to talk about the fact that the Republicans, it's easy to blame Trump, but it's really the Republicans. They've been after the arts and humanities for years and trying to cut the funding for PBS and Corporation for Public Broadcasting and Sesame Street and all this stuff. But it's I've read a couple of articles recently. One was about an arts program for vets, for veterans with PTSD, that helps them come to terms with, what they've been through and get on with their lives. And it's funded through the NEA, National Endowment for the Arts. They get a grant. And you have these things all over the country. It's so easy for conservatives to look at a show on PBS or to see something on hear it on public radio and think that it's just a bunch of liberal crap and they've got to cut the funding from it. But the arts are funded in local communities all over the country, dances and all kinds of stuff. And I think that for me, that a culture without art is a culture without a soul. I've never understood this dismissive attitude that especially Republicans have toward art, and art is vital to a culture. And I mentioned to you I think it was a text, but anyways, like 1,000 years from now, nobody's going to be looking at a corporation that existed today, but they will be looking at the artwork that they found, the architecture that they found, the remnants of culture is heavily dependent on art. And I also think that art is a reflection of who you are as a people. So if you as a people have zero appreciation for what art means and what it does, then you're going to have a vapid, empty society and culture.
You're so right in that. You look at the great Renaissance paintings and you learn about what Renaissance times are like. Or you look at hieroglyphics with some favorite
hieroglyphics or the Byzantine Empire or African anywhere.
Right, you learn.
And then when you look at people who have this really hostile relationship with culture, like ISIS or the hardcore Islamic people, what is there? It's an empty culture. There is no culture. ISIS has no culture. So I don't want that. I think that, like I said, art helps people. I'm a huge believer in art, and anyways, that was my big topic for that. I hope they don't cut the funding for and the humanities, and that's how we progress as a society. How we have progressed as a society is through the humanities, and I don't understand why it doesn't matter to them. And I know that they think that it all should be privately funded, but if the government doesn't fund it, then the government is sending the message that it has no appreciation for what art and culture bring to us as a people. And that's my big topic.
No, it's very true. And play off of that. It's great because I'm going to share this podcast with my friend Pam Masterson, who runs our Shreveport Regional Arts Council. Any community I've been to, whether it was Hannibal, Missouri, and I was active with the Hannibal Arts Council, and there's 50 miles of art. And, our dear friend Ills, my best friend who passed away, was part of that. Look at my friend here, Pam, who runs Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and what we were talking about earlier, like you said, when you thought I would say tour of art, was really a tour of art. When you talk about it coming down to a local level, and you talk about then that representing years later when people look back at a culture, can learn about a culture through their arts, that's so meaningful to me, Mark, because when you look at my collection of art, I can look at these are artists that I connected with when I was in Milwaukee. These are artists I connected with when I was in Hannibal, Missouri, and Quincy, Illinois. Here's the local artists. I have two local artists I collect. Bertha Harris, you love her work. She's a self-trained, outsider artist, they call them. And then my friend Maggie Vitas, who I referred to earlier, because she's, what do we call it? Goth? Elder? What did you call it?
Elder Goth.
Elder Goth, yeah. And she's got some beautiful paintings. Anyway, applause to our city of Shreveport in Northwest Louisiana. And I'll tell you why. Because they're concerned about what you're talking about. And there's actually a gentleman or maybe a woman documenting something that they created years ago in Shreveport. It's the only community. Now get this. Caddo Parish is the parish that Shreveport sits in. They have a thing at the end of April every year called Art Break. Okay, Art Break. Every art student, I get excited because you're going to love this, Mark, in Caddo Parish has the right to take a piece of art and exhibit it at our convention center. And then every student is bussed in. Every student during the run of Art Break gets to come and see this art and talk about it. No other city in the entire country is doing something like this, and they've been doing it for years. And it is funded by the city and self-funded, and I don't know all the mechanisms. I don't want to speak wrongly about it. I encourage you to look up Shreveport Art Break or Shreveport Regional Arts Center, SARC or SHRAC, and learn about it. But the cool part that where I feel a part of is we started this thing called Culture Crush. So the entire month of April is an arts takeover in our region. Our arts issue is called, in the Shreveport Times, it's called ACE, stands for Arts, Culture, and Entertainment. And we did a takeover for Shrek. And the whole thing talked about this whole experience that's happening in the month of April. And I've been involved in it since the home tour. There are 6 of us that open our homes, possible people that want to be art collectors coming into your home, to your collection, learn about why you collect it. You feature the artists that you collect locally. Discussions are had throughout the month about the accessibility of art and why you want to collect and what it means and commissioning art and a whole conversation. Then tonight they have these critics that they bring in because, as you know, newspapers have fired all their critics. I don't know if there's even a standing community paper anymore that has a paid art critic on staff. As a matter of fact, I think my friend Pam shared a meeting that doesn't exist anymore. They're freelancers or contributors.
Mm-hmm.
And so they fly them in from all over, Mark, Los Angeles, Chicago, whatever. And those critics critique our performing arts locally and our visual arts. And then the month moves on with different experiences all the way through Art Break. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. Very happening there in Shreveport.
It is, and it's very important. And, you know, you talk about art as different forms, too.
Writing is art. Writers are artists. So
when I look at one of your books sitting at my table, and when you're also living in my world as I'm converting newsprint and writing into digital stuff, yeah, you'll always have a digital footprint, but those stories go away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that art is going away. Digital work that way goes away, too. So it's interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
It's a good subject, Mark. It gets me heated in a good way.
Good, and I'm ready for yours. Talk away.
Okay. And, you know, my internet's down, so...
Talk away the gay. Is that what we're talking about?
I'm trying. No, we were going to talk away the gay, but I'm going to save that for another time. I want to talk about diction. I want to talk about this. Speaking of writing, my last topic is about words that have made the new dictionary. You know, it's always a headline in news when it comes up. Dictionary.com is doing its best to play the cool kid dictionary game. It added 300 new words to its online database. I don't know if you took a look at some of them. I sent you the story.
Well, yes, one of them, because it reminds me very much of a 12-step program where it says don't get too hungry, too angry, too lonely, too tired. So you got hangry. Let's say it together.
Yeah, we talked about that.
One more time, say it together. Hangry.
Hangry. I like that one. They added 420.
420, that's weed.
It's weed. They added it. They added this one. I love this one, Mark. Bitch face. One word.
Ditz?
Bitch face.
Bitch face. That's interesting. I never heard of that one.
Man bun.
Yeah, man bun. Cut it off. But, you know, I don't like making fun of people. Because I see man buns. I see guys with man buns. And I'm not comfortable making fun of them. I may not want one.
I don't.
But God, you know, like, do your thing. That's my attitude.
Well, now it's in the dictionary, so it'll always go down. Whether a man bun goes in or out of popularity, there was a time when it was in the dictionary. I don't think they drop words from the dictionary, do they?
I don't know. I don't think so. They just fall out of use.
Yeah, they fall out of use. You're right. They also added Black Lives Matter, Cat Cafe, dabbing, which I like because my friends love to dab.
What is dabbing? Is now? Remind me what dabbing is.
Dabbing is that little move. I mean, Hillary Clinton even tried to.
Oh, yes. On the little thing. Yeah, okay.
Dance move. Yeah, sext, like sexting is in. And my favorite.
Sext is old.
That is kind of old. So they just finally put it in there. Mic drop. Love it.
Okay, that's 2 words or one.
Mic drop is 2 words.
Okay.
And here's 2 that you might want to shed some light on because I don't know what they mean. Pick one of them and tell me what it means. Struggle bus or uncanny valley. I don't know either of them.
I don't know. I wonder if they're going to add pussy hat because I've been seeing that a lot lately since the Women's March thing.
Well, pussy hat should be in, I think.
But what is it? Is it a pink hat? Is it that pink hat that all those women were wearing?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think it's a metaphor for those types of hats. I think a literal hat. And then uncanny valley is a psychological concept that describes the feelings of unease or revulsion that people tend to have toward artificial representations of human beings. Huh.
Wow. I love language. You know, I'm a word guy, big word guy.
I do too. And then I'll end with struggle bus. A situation, task, etc. that seems difficult to frustrate, and that makes sense. I'm always on the struggle bus at work. Frick.
Yeah, me too. I've been riding that struggle bus a while.
It's not an easy ride, is it, Mark?
No. And then, of course, there's words every year that I never want to hear again. And like now that we're talking, I can't think of something, but Oh my gosh! And we used to talk about it on a podcast, like at the end of the year.
Yeah, we did. We used to, at the end of the year, we said, what are the words we want to get rid of? And yeah.
I can't think of them right now, and I don't
Oh,
want.
I know what they were. It was a word like fantastic or something last year. Everybody was using.
Oh, I know. Like I'll give you an
it?
example. Words I can't stand is baby bump. Can't stand it. A woman has a pregnant stomach. She doesn't have a baby bump. And that was like, I was hearing that. I still hear it on the entertainment shows, especially. Beyonce's baby bump. It's like treating women like it infantilizes women, and I hate it. But that's an example.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, there's
something
words
behind that baby bump.
Words every year I don't like.
Well, we should talk about it next week. They just kind of annoy me. I agree with you. Anyway, that's the topic Mark was referring that I wanted to really get into was gays judging gays, and how I read a blog this week that was so important because I'm guilty of it. I tell people all the time that I don't like gay men, and then I realized I really don't like men, and so it kind of generalizes. But by putting that out there, like when I don't like effeminate men, I don't like people that lisp. And I don't know, it's because that was like the sure sign that people could see and then started bashing gays. So it's like, well, don't talk with a lisp, because 30 years ago then people started taking roads.
It's internalized homophobia. I've accepted that about myself for a long time. That my aversion to that, or my dislike of that, or my dislike of like of Cam on Modern Family. It's my own homophobia. It's my own homophobia.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, my friend Jody's here. We're going to go on a walk, Mark. It's her birthday. Hey, Jody, happy birthday.
Hi, Jody. Now that you slipped in another topic.
Mark says hi. But let me end with my quote. I have to end with the quote, right?
Do it, and then you go ride, and then I'll process this.
No, we're not riding. We're walking. We don't ride.
Oh, okay.
It's way
then
too
go walk.
Sophisticated.
What's your quote?
We walk. But my quote, when we were talking about the destruction of art and humanities, there's also a great concern right now. It's destruction of the environment, right? And how horrible that is. And we have to watch out for it. And I was reading this quote, and I'm going to keep it short. People know the city of Seattle was actually named after Chief Seattle. And a lot of people are quoting him now because it's some wonderful words about the importance of, the American Indian community is really important to me. And he spoke these words 150 years ago. Have you ever heard of this Chief Seattle guy?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to quote this as an abbreviated version, and I think these are really important things to consider as we see decisions that are made about our land and ultimately our people. Just like you're talking about, the destruction of the arts, how dangerous it is as we start to demolish an earth. How can you buy the sky? Chief Seattle began. How can you own the rain and the wind? My mother told me every part of this earth is sacred to our people. Every pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every meadow and humming insect, all are holy in the memory of our people. My father said to me, I know the sap that courses through the trees as I know the blood that flows in my veins. The voice of my grandfather said to me, the air is precious. It shares its spirit with all the life it supports. And then he goes on, my grandmother's voice said to me, teach your children what you have been taught. The earth is our mother. What befalls the earth befalls all the sons and daughters of the earth. And he concludes, we love this earth as a newborn loves its mother's heartbeat. If we sell you the land, care for it as we have cared for it. Hold in your mind the memory of the land as it is when you receive it. Preserve the land and the air and the rivers for your children's children, and love it as we have loved it. That's Chief Seattle. Love that quote.
Yeah, I love it too, and it's very timely with what's going on.
And he used it, of course, when Native folks started selling their land to the United States. But anyway, Mark, it's been a great show. Find us an intern.
I will. I'll do my best, and I'll keep you posted. Thanks, everybody, for listening to another Twist, America's only clothing optional podcast. We'll be back next week.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.